You're with On Track, talkSPORT's weekly motorsports show. I'm Jon Jackson with Nick Golding from Racing News 365 alongside me. And there's a lot going on in the Formula E world. Of course, we are mid-season at the moment with another race coming up in Berlin before we go to Monaco and then off to Asia again. But the big hype at the moment is around the brand new car because we've got the Gen 4 car coming. It's been previewed, but we haven't actually seen it with our own eyes on track. And well, we're going to get a preview very, very soon as the media, and I guess it's our job then to make sure that you see as much as possible of it because at the moment it's not out there for public consumption. And Nick, I think Formula E are really pinning a lot of hopes on the new Gen 4 car being the car that starts to really draw those young drivers from F2 and F3 across to Formula E because this Gen 4 car looks very serious. You know, I've got the stats in front of me and, you know, when you're looking at the speed and the power increase, it really is going to make this Gen 3 Evo car that they're racing at the moment look kind of slow. And I think the most impressive stat for me is that it's the first FIA single-seater that's going to have all-wheel drive all the time.
It's going to be permanent all-wheel drive. I mean, let me spit some facts. It's going to do, produce the equivalent of 815 brake horsepower at 600 kilowatts, multiple downforce settings, Bridgestone coming in as its tyre supply. It hasn't been in an FIA single-seater series since leaving F1 at the end of 2010. So that's a massive deal. The car is going to easily be capable of over 200 mile per hour. It is an absolute beast, and it's a car that is kind of expected to fill into that gap time-wise between Formula 2 and Formula 1. And actually, if we get slick tyres in a couple of years, could actually maybe be as quick, if not quicker, than Formula 1. It is, and I said it, a beast of a car. And it's a car as well that there will be some drivers on the current grids who simply cannot drive it because they won't have the skill to do so. It's going to be a car that really attracts the very best drivers because ultimately you're going to need to be incredible to drive this car and get the most out of it. It's going to be one that separates the men from the boys, I think is the right way of putting it, because it is the step Formula E has been needing for a while. It's going to be that step which really gets it noticed, increases its fan base, puts it just a couple of seconds off F1. If you cannot tell, am quite excited.
So obviously we've had the rookie test recently and you can see why drivers like Teo Nile, who was the fastest over the weekend, and Callum Voisin and those young drivers with Freddie Slater as well are keen to try this current generation of car, because if they get to grips with this, then obviously the Gen 4 is a whole new beast. We are going to get a preview of this on the 21st and 22nd of April. It's going to be at Paul Ricard, the racetrack at Paul Ricard. I will say now it's not open to the public. So if you are in the Marseille area, unfortunately, you have to wait a little bit longer to be able to see it for yourself in person. But one of the things that I've heard they're doing, and this is a rumor, let's hope it happens, and I'm putting it out that I won't be there. So you're going to be alongside our commentator, Lewis McGlade. Nick, you're going to be our man on the ground, hopefully. You only just found out about that. They're going to show the difference and the sort of increase since Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 3 Evo, and now into the Gen 4 car. And I think that that's going to just show you over the 12 seasons of Formula E just how things have moved on. And I think that, I mean, if you're a new fan to Formula E, to watch where it's come from since, only 12 years ago, I think that will impress anyone. And hopefully, I mean, this car is the car that will hopefully get more and more fans and sort of, boost Formula E to where it wants to be.
It is a rumor you've said that I shall neither confirm nor deny. Now, it's going to be a spectacular event, of course, in November last year. Formula E released some pictures, some teaser videos of the Gen 4 car just to, whet the appetite a little bit. Now, very select media, and I'm very pleased to say that I will be there.
You've been chosen.
I've been chosen, one of the chosen ones, very few chosen ones, I should add, but I'm very excited to see it. And it is, of course, as you pointed out, closed to the public. So if you're in Marseille, go watch the football maybe, and hopefully you'll be able to see the Gen 4 car soon. But, it's a game changer. And actually, that's something that go for it.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that there is one driver who's not on the grid at the moment who could be on the grid, who's a huge Marseille fan. Ooh. And wouldn't it be amazing if he was to be lined up for a seat? And this is just a rumor, this isn't inside information. If he was being lined up for a seat, wouldn't it be a great place to announce that? And of course, I'm speculating I might maybe even won't say his name, but if you know you're racing and you know a young French driver who might have won the F2 championship a few years ago, who has been linked with Formula E teams, who supports Marseille, well, maybe all things would tie together, wouldn't they?
Maybe something for those watching this on talkSPORT Drive and YouTube to put in the comments on who they think that might be. But yes, said driver would be a pretty cool announcement at the Gen 4 launch. And actually, said driver has already driven the Gen 4. I won't say who, but, 1 + 1 = Théo Pourchaire. But it's going to be, maybe that is, maybe that isn't. It's going to be, though, just the event, just the car itself. Sam Bird, obviously, he was in Formula E from season 1 to the end of season 11. Now is Nissan Reserve. He's called it a game changer, and that is exactly what it is. This is the car that, Formula E has made really good steps, really gradual steps since it first came in back in 2014, with 2 cars being needed to complete a race, to then in the Gen 3, obviously now having the fastest accelerating FIA single seater, 30% faster than an F1 car can do from 0 to 60. The Gen 4 is going to obliterate that. And obviously, its top speed as well is going to be much nearer to what an F1 car can do. So you are going to start seeing more comparisons between the two. And I think it's a car which is going to really raise some eyebrows in every major championship.
Well, look, there's going to be loads of content from that media event across the talkSPORT social channels. I'm sure Nick will be writing a lot of articles and featuring some video content on Racing News 365 as well. We're very much looking forward to it, and it'll be good to see these cars out on the track with our eyes for the very first time. And obviously, they'll be racing maybe towards the end of this year or starting early next year, so not long to wait until the new generation of electric cars in Formula E. We're looking forward to that. We will preview the Berlin E-Prix weekend on the 28th of April, so Tuesday the 28th at 11 a.m. on talkSPORT 2, with On Track being slightly earlier due to the IPL. But if you want to catch it as normal on the podcast network, you will be able to straight after the show. And of course, on the talkSPORT Driving YouTube channel, which you can hit subscribe on right now. And when we put our videos in the meantime, especially from that Gen 4 media launch, you'll see them straight away. You'll get a notification on your phone. So Nick, thank you very much. Check out Nick's writing at Racing News 365. And we will see you when we preview the Berlin E-Prix on the 28th of April.